Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the ThePCelitist. My name is Woodsie.
My name is Shepard.
I said that really loud.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, well, we're gonna keep it. Today we are talking about DLC, specifically the dark side of DLC.
Yes.
Because with everything, there's a light and there's a dark. There's a yin and a yang. There's a Woodsie and a Shepard.
This is how I know we're best friends, because I was just about to say that exact same thing. Yes, DLC, for those of you who don't know, is downloadable
Content.
Cheez-Its?
Downloadable Cheez-Its?
Content, you're right. And
If there were downloadable Cheez-Its, we would not be having this conversation.
we wouldn't have a channel.
There's no such...
Anyway,
I digress. Can I say
Yes.
there's no dark side to downloadable Cheez-Its?
Yes, you can. So on to the actual discussion.
Yeah.
DLC, and we're going to use Magicka as an example because I think it serves as a great test case for talking about the downside of DLC. Now, we all know and love DLC. When someone releases a game and you love it and it's wonderful and you want more of it and you don't want to wait for a sequel, DLC presents an opportunity to see many more features, skins, cosmetic changes, gameplay changes, mechanics changes. It provides the opportunity for the developer to put in things they either wanted to before and couldn't for whatever reason, things they've thought of since, or they're responding to the community's demands. So DLC provides a wonderful opportunity for that. However, Magicka, currently, as of this recording, has 22 different downloadable DLCs for a game that is $10 on Steam. I think it was $15 when it came out. Mm-hmm. There is now almost $53 worth of DLC.
All good stuff, right? Yeah.
It's come out over the last 2 years. They release, every 1 to 3 months, sometimes a few on the same day. $1, $2, $3, up to $5 at a time. So they're releasing all this extra content, which can range from purely cosmetic things, just new skins, new robes, new weapons, new gear, basically, right, to new levels. So they're releasing a lot of new material, but is it worth releasing 5 times the amount of the purchase price of the game? Are you getting 5 times the experience of the original campaign? So for me, it bothers me when I see this. I've only purchased, I think, 2 or 3 of the DLC for Magicka, and it was long ago when it just started coming out.
Like Vietnam?
Yeah, before I knew what kind of behemoth it was going to be. And I'm happy to purchase DLC, especially from a developer who I support.
Right.
And I very much support them for the game they've made. I just think that it bothers me to not just... I don't partake in it, so it's optional. It's not like it bothers me that I can't play the game without it, or that if I want DLC number 13, I have to buy 1 through 12. That's a kind of a separate issue. Just seeing that they put out that much DLC is annoying.
Well, it doesn't... It to me, it kind of like snuck up on me. Like, we both loved Magicka. I love that game. If someone on the streets just stopped me and said, "Do you love Magicka?" I would say, "Yes, I do, sir," whoever you are. But it kind of snuck up on me because I was somewhat aware of all this stuff being advertised to me through Steam.
You're aware that the DLC is coming out, just not exactly.
Yeah, and I realized I'm annoyed with, at some point when we brought up this conversation, I'm annoyed with just how much there is. Mm-hmm. Without even realizing how annoyed I was getting about it, where it's like, I don't even really like... Let's say I don't like Magicka, but the
current business model.
Their current business model is annoying.
And I think that we first need to kind of establish some things here.
And I'm usually the first guy to defend DLC.
Yes, you are. But obviously, if you make something that's good and you have more good ideas, by all means release them. If you have adoring fans who want to see more of your game, why wouldn't you make more content for them? So we're not saying they shouldn't even do it. To me, what I'm annoyed by is the scheduling and pricing of the release. I'm of the type who likes DLC kind of packaged in more. And the analogy I'll use is, for example, Microsoft has Patch Tuesday. Every Tuesday they release patches and fixes for their OSs.
Right.
And they have regular, hotfixes, patches, different updates, and that's fine. They bundle all major ones into service packs. I wish that games would be more on the lines of bundling upgrades into service packs, where Microsoft XP has been out for well over a decade. It has only 3 service packs. I would like a game like Magicka to release the original game. If you have a bunch of great ideas, new levels, new skins, new gear, wait, put it all together, and sell me another thing that's $5 or $10 at a time. Don't try and sell me this thing for $1, this for $3, that for $4. Release them every 1 to 3 months, because what I feel like you're doing, and you may be releasing legitimate new creative content, I feel like you're kind of, that I love the game, and you're almost stringing me along. Like, we have a great idea. I don't know how long I'm going to have your attention.
Right.
how long you're going to love my game. I'm going to try and get $1 out of you now. I'm not saying this is what they're doing. It just feels like it. I want to get $1 out of you now. 3 months, maybe I can get $3 out of you. In a year, hopefully you've spent $15 on 5 new expansions. It just feels to me like that's what's happening. And again, I still love the developer. I'm not like boycotting or anything.
Yes, you are. That letter campaign you wrote.
Well, it wasn't very successful.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, 12 signatures is not really a petition, is it?
Especially when I wrote all 12 of them.
Oh. But that's how I feel. So that's not how I feel about all DLC. We're using this as an example. But there are other games that just seem to have, like you see the Steam store page, I really thought that there was this DLC. This new one's out and it's only a week later.
Right.
It just seems to me, and you and I talked very briefly before this, that there are good and bad sides, and there may be very legitimate reasons why they're doing it this way that I'm just not aware of. If you put all this time and effort into DLC, you should be rewarded for it. So I'm not saying you shouldn't charge for it. That's fine. I think it's better to package it into a more robust, this is an expansion to this game. Make it Magicka, then give it some title. The Robes of Destiny. I don't care what you call it. But expand new areas of the campaign, introduce some new characters, some new mechanics, that's fine. Or just bundle it all together for a sequel, which apparently there is a Magicka sequel forthcoming. But really, you created a game, you have 22 sets of DLC for it, and you're making a second one?
I think when the DLC is too cheap, not in both costs, like $2 is not really a lot of money. I mean, I don't think so.
And the price point there obviously is such that people may not want it. $10 to most of us is just fine.
Yeah.
But to some people, $10 is like, I don't know if I really want to do that right now. $1 or $2, you can always psychologically write off $1 or $2.
Right. I just think that it's just psychologically for me, it tells me their mentality when they release new robe skins and sell them for $2. I mean, I would love if they did stuff like that for free. Just like, hey, we put some new skins in it. But it's to me, it's almost a mentality like, you love the game, you bought the game. Obviously, anything else we do creatively, you'll just throw money at us for. So here's a $2 set of robes.
Yeah, you love the branding of Magicka. You want to get your hands on everything Magicka, so you'll throw out $2 here, $3 there, just so you have all the expansions.
Right. It just seems, I don't know, it just seems cheap. Where, like I was saying to you, if you look through the list of stuff, and here's the problem in my book. The real problem is we could go read one by one that list of things and what each one adds. And what was it, like $53?
Yeah, it was just under $53 of DLC for 22 individual pieces of it.
Right. Do you think that those would be worth $53 to you?
Probably not. I think Magicka, the base game, I would have paid $30 or $40 for.
Right.
That's how much I loved it. But no, so for all that DLC to amount to not just $50, to amount to 5 times the cost, even if it was 15 when it came out, 3 times the cost of the original game.
Right.
Are you adding so much onto the core gameplay that it's now a AAA priced game?
Well, is the game? It's $53 for all the expansions. Let's say the game on top is $60.
That's if you bought them piecemeal, and there are always sales. Even right now, I think it's $35 to buy all those DLC.
Right.
Even that, if you wanted to play Magicka right now and wanted all that stuff, it'd be $45. And again, this is optional. I'm not saying they're forcing us to pay this amount, so I'm not complaining about that.
Right.
But if you want to have all that content, $45 for it?
Right.
Really?
Yeah. To me it's such a psychological thing, because if you said, like, look at all this stuff they have, it's on sale for $32 or whatever, and then here's the base game for $10. So the whole thing, everything they've made up till now is $40, 40 something dollars. Is it worth it? Maybe it could be.
To me, again, because of how much I love the game, I don't want to sound like I'm contradicting myself. I think the game is worth $40-some.
Right.
I just think to have a game with a base cost so low, the DLC is exponentially more than that.
Right.
And and not having played every piece of DLC, I can't say definitively it does not have that value.
Right.
I'm highly skeptical that it does, and I'm shocked that 22 different releases in 2 years.
To me, if they took all that stuff they've made and made a second expansion, or split it up into thirds, so like there's been 2 expansions total since then.
One per year. At least be like Assassin's Creed and only do 1 new thing per year.
Are they new? Is it actually new?
It's not.
It's not new. I just think that if you took them and you like what you said, bundled them together and then sold them at a higher price point, to me, the guy who's not just babysitting their website, just waiting for the next thing that they're making, would probably consider it more. And it would be more beneficial for me to come back. Like, I think that if they took, let's say, all the stuff they have up there and they split it up, so it was 2 expansions instead of 22 DLC things, I would not only have them, I would have played most of it.
Yeah, exactly. And based purely on kind of a supply and demand way of thinking about it, you've flooded the market with DLC for it. It dilutes the value of each individual piece of DLC for me.
Right. Like, when I go and look at that list, like, I don't know which one I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a good idea. I think when people talk about like how much they hate DLC, which it's common, people don't really. I think it's kind of just rocky territory for most people.
Yeah, especially since the modding community is essentially a community of free DLC developers.
Yeah.
Who so rarely ever charge for their thing because usually you're not allowed to since you can't charge for intellectual property that's not yours.
Right.
But yeah, there's a modder community that, like Skyrim, for example. Skyrim has some DLC, but imagine if every significant mod that they had, if they had released 10, 15 different DLCs for it, or a game like Call of Duty, there are new map packs and things like that. Those feel annoying to me, and that's just one every few months.
Right.
I just think DLC needs to be we are thoughtfully adding on selectively to a game, not here is us. We implemented a good idea, threw it at the wall for 99 cents, see if it sticks. But it does feel to me like that they have a project team and they make a list of all their favorite ideas, and again, it may be for legitimate reasons. I don't have conversations with these people.
Right.
But to me, it feels like truly we don't know how long people are going to keep playing our game because there's so many games and the attention span of most people nowadays is so short. Let's try and get the money.
What were we talking about?
Exactly. Let's try and get the money while we can. Release them kind of one by one.
Right.
That's how it feels. So it's a perception issue. We could be totally wrong, but we wanted to talk about it to see if we are not alone. And again, we used Magicka as an example because we thought it was a good case to kind of springboard this discussion. But I know other games have this issue. Other games do DLC well.
They do. It is a perception issue because I was just surfing the web and I found a free alpha of a really creative indie game. They said on the site, this is a work of 1 week from us, and it's free, and then we're going to build off of this. That's a free thing that these guys just did in a week. The guys at Magicka made new robe skins and are charging $2 for it. So my perception is it's not worth my $2.
Yeah.
Because I could get free stuff that's way better than your robe skins.
Yeah.
Though I do love wearing robes. I'm wearing one right now.
And that sounds about as good a place as any. So we want to know what you think about DLC. Not so much like DLC in general, but what are good and bad implementations of it? Why did you like it or dislike it? Some games that you wish had better DLC. All the questions we normally ask. Give us your thoughts.
Absolutely. My name is Woodsie.
My name is Shepard. This is the ThePCelitist signing out.